Yeah.
That's box, right?
Yeah.
I'd like to call the meeting to order at 6 o'clock on Monday, April 1st, 2024, at the town hall upstairs. Before I start the meeting, I know some of you might be here for the short-term rental, the Airbnb, what you want to call it, and I promise we will have it ready, but it is not ready today. And it's all fairness, Morgan has been working on the flood stuff. And we got a lot of money out, and we need to get this money in, so that's kind of taking a little adjustments, but I do promise that it will be on the meeting, whatever it's April 18th, or whatever the next select board meeting, it will be on. So we will be there. Okay. Need a motion to adopt the agenda as presented. So
Second.
discussion? If no, all in favor, say aye. Okay. We have the minutes of March 18. Are there any additions or corrections to those minutes as presented?
They look over.
If there are not, somebody make a motion to accept the minutes of March 18th, 2024.
So moved.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. All right, we have a discussion on the Theron Fishing driveway that, somebody they want to have that road thrown up. Is anybody here to talk about it?
He's on it.
And Zoom?
Eric, can you hear us okay? Oh, you're muted.
I can hear you. It's a little bit fuzzy, but I think I get it. Yes. But so is there a question about Theron Fisher Drive?
Yeah, you would like to have it thrown up.
Is that, yeah, whatever the expression is, we'd like to turn it back into just our driveway and not have the town maintain it?
Yeah, that's okay. If that's what you want.
That's what we want. I think the only thing, I think the only reason it's a town road is maybe because it's plowed by the town, but we don't really need that since we have to plow the whole driveway anyway, so that's the request.
Well, there is a process. We have to have a public hearing and we have to have a site visit, but we'll get that started now. And I don't know, it'll take what, a couple of months, I guess, before we can get the final approval. It's just a lot of formality that we have to do for the state when we throw up a road.
Is that what it's called? Throw out? Throw up?
Well, discontinue either one.
Ah, okay. All right. Do I have to is there anything we need to do?
Nope, you're done. If you want to have the road discontinued, then we will start the process to get it done.
I think it'd be a good idea if you send a letter.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably not a bad idea if you just put a letter in the mail, so we have some hard proof or an email or text or something, or email.
Sure.
Okay?
Okay, just send it to Morgan.
Yes, please.
Okay, I will do that.
Okay, well, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Highway report, the village bridge, Pam's gonna talk about that.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I knocked over the end of the bridge, just the stone part, this last big snowstorm we had, with all the snow, we couldn't see it. And when I put the snow back, I knocked it over. I mean, stuff happens, but I will be getting some mortar and I will be putting it back together here. Whenever the weather cooperates, we're done with, getting the road shape back up.
So you want the town to do it, you don't want.
I'm gonna do it. I messed it up, so I'll.
Well, that's all right, I mean, but we don't have to have a nation or somebody to do it.
No, it's nothing too complicated.
Oh, okay, all right. Anybody have any comments on the repair? All right.
Is there a cost? Is there?
A bag of mortar.
We have to award the sand bids. I want to make a motion to,
No.
We only have one, right?
yeah. Somebody want to second it?
Okay.
I mean, really, there's no discussion because it was the only bid. So that's what we have to deal with. The next year, guys, who knows what's gonna happen, but anyway, so. All right, so all in favor of awarding the sand bid, I believe it was the P and L, was it? Yeah, P and L. Say aye,
All right.
opposed? Okay. Now we have the loader. Kobe, do you wanna say something? I know you sent out the letters here,
Have you all read through it?
which is very nice, but if you wanna say something in defense, please.
I mean, it's all laid out in there. I mean, if you guys want, it probably wouldn't hurt to read it out. Not me, because I can't read, but, Morgan.
Oh, I don't know if it's necessary unless anybody want to hear
It would be good to just know the gist of it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why we're here.
Morgan, you just read the first page. Well, actually, I read the second page.
Where do you want me to start?
I'd read, start right at the very top.
it. Reasons to not to go with.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first page talks about reasons why the highway crew would like to purchase the Volvo loader. And I'll just pick out a few of those. There's a rear view camera with 360 view display. Radar detection, behind the machine, the best fire safety with fire extinguisher portholes in the hood. Has a 20% better fuel efficiency than the competition. Lifetime frame warranty. The whole hood lifts up to make it better access to, access the engine better. So reasons to not go with Cat, John Deere, or Doosan. In the time, this was written by Colby, so in the time I have worked at the town, we have had bad experiences with Cat, getting them to come work on our equipment, even getting them to come troubleshoot the equipment. Cat doesn't have all the safety options that Volvo does, nor does John Deere or Doosan. Fuel consumption on Cat, Doosan, and John Deere is not as efficient as Volvo. None of them have tail light covers, and none of them have TP linkage. Can you explain what that
The
means?
TP linkage is so you go scoop into the pile and you go with the bucket up. The bucket never gets closer or further away from you. It goes straight up and down. So your weight transfer never changes when you're going up to the truck, and also you never put, the bucket's never over the machine, you dump material on the machine. You also can see 10 times better out of the lot.
Every option I list on the first page is options that do not come with competitors. Yes, the Volvo cost 19,400 more than John Deere, but with the Volvo, the town will be getting their money's worth. Volvo is way ahead of the competitors on every aspect of the machine. It is not a owner's machine, it is an operator's machine. The difference is the owner's machine is built to lower the price of the machine by adding less options and cutting corners. An operator's machine is built for the operator to make his life easier and more comfortable, making the machine easier, and is a much better built machine. Customer service at Volvo is much better and put together shop with 24-hour parts services guaranteed, which competitors do not offer. The Volvo holds its resale value or trade-in value better than the competitors as well. On top of On top of all, David Lane and I have ran the Volvo and all the Volvo better, and all like the Volvo better as it is more operator friendly. The Volvo also has the loader on hand. And they will install the plow and wing. I also think that we should change our time frame of purchase from 13 years to 10 years. After 7, the warranty goes up, and around 9 to 10 year mark is when we start to have the most breakdowns. We would also have a higher trade value if we moved it to 10 years. Does that cover it?
Yeah.
Colby, one of the things you talked about with me was, parts. And if you went with the cat or the Doosan, there was a long wait for parts.
The Doosan, we've never owned a Doosan, so we don't know
Okay.
what the
What was
first
the cat?
rate is on that. The cat though, I finally got them to come down and figure out what was wrong with our grader. And I waited 4.5 weeks to get them to come just look at it.
And you had to.
And then after they looked at it, they told me that I was gonna have another 3.5 week wait until they could come do something with it. So, I mean, we've never had an issue, we do have a John Deere backhoe, we've never had an issue with John Deere's parts. We also don't run the backhoe as much as we run the loader, so the backhoe doesn't break as often as the loader does, but.
But one of the things you said, with Volvo, the parts come within 24 hours,
Yeah, the 24-hour guarantee, you'll have your part.
and they bring them here, we don't have to go get them, and that was kind of a plus.
Toby, I'd like to change the, and have it leased for 7 years instead of 10, because that's the least of our warranty, and it doesn't make sense to run it for 3 years without any warranty on it, because that's when you'll probably have most of your problems with it.
So you wanna have at least for 7 years?
That's the legal warranty.
I can't remember, I figured it out for 7 years, how much it was gonna cost, do you remember the number?
I didn't figure, but you can divide 7 into your total cost,
Yeah.
219.
Yeah.
Steve? Any comments, anything?
Well, I mean, they all pretty much have the same warranty. I like that the Volvo's a good trade-in, you know, if you guys wanna upgrade. You know, I think you'll get that money back, you know, further down the road.
I've talked to a couple other towns that own them too, and that every other town that's owned them has never had an issue with them. And they all absolutely love them. There's one town that has one since 2004 and they won't trade it in because they love it, they never had an issue with it.
And really, it was the trade-in, they were gonna offer,
If you marked up the trade-ins from all companies as all the same price, the loaders were all within $1,000 of each other. I mean, they were all right there. The only reason why the Volvo was more expensive is because he didn't give us as much to trade in as all the other ones.
right, it was 65 and
Yeah.
the other ones were like 80, so that was pretty much the difference.
Someone wanna make a motion?
I'll make a motion,
Yeah, go ahead, Kathy. Do you wanna include the 7-year thing out in this motion?
I wouldn't.
Alright, so add the 7-year lease.
do we have the figures though on the money from, 10 years versus the 7? Did you figure that out?
The 10 years, how much it gonna cost, the difference?
Right.
I can figure out now. You have the actual budget, Maureen?
Yeah.
I don't have the. Can you type that?
Okay, well,
Exact price.
Total cost,
The purchase cost?
Yeah.
225.
Yeah, 225,
900.
About $32,000 a year for 7 years.
22.5 for 10.
Colby,
Yep.
does that mean that the town receives the trade-in in cash and the lease payments based on the cost? The actual cost of the loan?
No, the trade-in goes in and it's figured in, so you're leasing at the net cost after the trade-in.
10 years at 225.5.
They don't give you 20,000, they're not gonna give you the cash for the trade-in. The
Okay.
trade-in is taken off the price.
The reason it was confusing is because I thought Morgan said the purchase price was 225. That purchase price includes the net of the trade.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes,
Thank you.
it's not, that's not also just the load, that's also the price of the plow and wing that comes with it.
right. All right, so Kathy, you wanna,
So what's the total?
22,500 for 10 years each
no,
That's what it is for a year.
per year, and then
10 years.
if it's 7 years, it's 32,000.
right. We change.
But John's concerned about 3 years not having a loan fee.
You have total amount of money for this machine already,
Yeah.
because that's the way it's supposed to be paid.
Yeah. So then you're just gonna not pay it all at once, you're gonna pay it over 7 years.
So you only need 30,000 instead of 225.
I make a motion that the town of Grafton, buy the Volvo 225,900 for the 7-year lease.
Any other discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, all right. Mr. Loader. We have excess weight permits for Dead River Company, Camp Precast Concrete Products, Consolidated Communications, and Fabian Earth Moving. We have a motion to accept this and have Morgan sign the weight permits.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Bye.
Opposed? Colby, you have anything else you want to talk about the roads or anything? I know we're gonna have a snowstorm, that everybody's so happy about.
Yeah, today we spent the day, put the chains on everything and put the plows back up and grease and everything for the snowstorm. We're gonna have, the loader and one dump truck on dirt, town dirt the whole entire storm, and we'll have one dump truck on blacktop for the whole storm. I mean, it's gonna be a long dragged out snowstorm and nobody knows what we're gonna get. I mean, it's anywhere from 8 inches to 2 feet, so. I guess everyone just have to bear with us until the storm is over and hopefully everything goes good. Should,
Have you been able to do any grading?
nope. The roads just finally got dried out enough today and you just go stir them up today and you go plow tomorrow, it's gonna be in the ditch, so.
Okay.
It'll probably be another week after the snow. If we get another whole week with no snow and it's warm weather, we'll be able to get back out there and grade and your grade, and I don't think probably 2 days we can get this guy everything once, so. As soon as the weather is ready, we'll be out. Everything's ready to go, so.
Well, thank you for what you guys are doing.
Yeah, and you guys did a great job, last storm. That was a lot of snow.
Hopefully we'll get less this time.
Anybody have anything for the highway department? From the board, anybody about this?
I just have one highway related thing.
Yeah,
So back in December, we applied for a municipal highway and stormwater mitigation grant program. And we applied to that for the culvert number 10 on Fisher Hill, that really large one that goes across the road that always has issues. I just got this email on Friday, we were awarded $284,000 to go towards that project with a matching funds of 71,000. And I took a quick look at the capital budget this morning, and there was about 40,000 from last year allocated. And I don't have the number for what we put in for this year. So I can look at that more closely, but essentially, somebody will just need to have signing authority to sign off on this project commitments form. I don't know if you want me to look at our funds before we sign off on that.
Hardy's on, maybe we can ask him. Hardy? You there?
Yes,
Hardy, if we have this, this is a, you know, a kind of a deal I think we should take. But if we do it this year, we'll be able to come up with the 70 some odd thousand, that's our share of the culvert?
well, you were gonna do the loader, for 205,000. It sounds like you're doing a lease now, is that correct?
That is correct.
So that's only gonna be how much for this year? Instead of 205,000.
32, all right.
32,000.
So, I mean, you're gonna have extra money, I would think, right?
Alrighty.
So if that's the case, can I have a motion to?
Well, one more question.
Oh, sorry.
Is this gonna be done in 2024
I asked. that
or is this a
question.
2025?
I asked that today and I haven't gotten a response. I'm thinking it would be in the 2025 construction season. But I don't know for sure. I still haven't gotten a response.
And if it's in that, we can definitely, plan for it, so. This should not be a problem.
Somebody wanna make a motion?
That grant is based on the culvert cost of $350,000. Which we don't know what it is until you go out and do it.
That's true.
Just, the award is for 284 though.
Yes,
You're
but
saying
that's,
it's
but I'll
300.
say before that.
Is 10 the first one on the blackground or the second one?
It's the one by Nate's driveway.
I mean, it needs to be done.
Oh, God, yeah, all the one up above it isn't done.
And if we don't take it, then it's gonna come out of capital money from the town. And this is kind of a bargain. I mean, it's not a bargain, but it is. Somebody make a motion?
So the motion would be to authorize somebody to sign the project commitment funds form.
So,
Second.
Any other discussion?
Who are you authorizing?
Huh?
Who are you authorizing?
Morgan.
Moving, yeah. And then I'm assuming that, Morgan, then once we do this, then we'll put it out for bid. I'm assuming,
Yes,
right,
yeah.
Right. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Anything else in highway? Tim, do you have anything? You're on there.
Yes, the dog license for due as of today, anything after today has an $11 late fee added to it. We probably registered 137 dogs out of probably close to 185. And as of June 1st, I'll be handing over a list of dogs by statute to the select board that are unlicensed. I'll also be sending out a reminder notification to everybody beginning tomorrow of late fees. Once I've done that, then I will alert our animal control officer. But she's not authorized yet in her job description to actually do much about unlicensed dogs that have been licensed once before. So I'll have to have a conversation about it. As for the treasure portion of it, we've been borrowing money because we have no money left in the account. We're down to about 200. So I will have to borrow from our million that line of credit that we have. That's it.
Any questions? If not, the next item is discussion of the town meeting pursuant to 24 VSA. Obviously, at the last select board meeting, the board voted to advertise in the Grafton News for applicants. And then we were going to interview them after this meeting. And then we were going to appoint somebody on the meeting of 18th of April. Since there's a special town meeting that has been called, so that there's no reason to do that. So we'll just have to wait now and for the special town meeting to get the dates and send out all the required information, and the meeting will be sometime between, I think, sometime end of May or sometime in June. You might want to expand on that more because she worked with it. It's a very complicated procedure, so.
At the door, there was a form that says special town meeting for the purpose of filling a select board vacancy. So if there's more copies, I would recommend grabbing one of these. Essentially, I wrote down kind of the timeline of the events that have happened. So to summarize what Joe said, motion was made to advertise that the vacancy was open and that the select board intended to appoint somebody at the April 15th meeting. And then on March 21st, there was a petition filed to call a special town meeting. So on the back side, I wrote out 2 potential scenarios with some dates that seem to make sense. So at the top of the page, this is one scenario that it does not allow time to advertise in the Grafton News. Then there's another scenario at the bottom of the page that does allow for that. So from the date of the petition being submitted, the select board has 60 days to warn a special town meeting. So that means the special town meeting would have to be warned on or before May 20th. So then, let's just assume that we'll publish it in the Grafton News just for the sake of ease. At their regular select board meetings on April 1st, April 15th, and or May 6th, the select board can publicly state their intentions to hold a special town meeting on June 25th. From there, we would advertise that petitions are due. We would advertise that in the May edition of the Grafton News. And petitions would be due on May 13th. And then on May 20th, the select board would officially warn the special town meeting to occur on June 25th. Then on June 25th, that's when the special town meeting would be had, and we would all vote Australian ballot to fill the select board vacancy. Does that make sense? Because it was really hard to look.
No, it makes sense.
And on the front, it goes into way more details with the statutes voted and, but yeah, please ask if there's questions.
And so far, there are 2 people who are, go ahead.
I think you just answered my question, or just, do you anticipate having more than one candidate? It would be a shame to have to go through all this rigmarole if there's only one.
Well, at present, we have 2. One is Anna Keegan, and the other one is Michael Holmes. So, so far, and it hasn't even hit the paper yet, so.
Yeah.
I don't know if there'll be more, hope there will be more, but, we'll see. So I don't think you need to have a motion to cancel what we decided last meeting, June, on the appointment.
Wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, so maybe somebody make a motion that we, will no longer do the advertising and appointment on the 18th. We will go to the special town meeting. Somebody second that?
Second.
Yeah, yes, Lindy.
And this is about at the last meeting, you had an executive session to talk about, and I know according to the statutes, you're allowed to have an executive session, but I guess my question is, why did you feel you had to have an executive session for that discussion?
There were some personal issues there that we needed to discuss that fall under the title of executive
Personal
session.
or personnel?
Huh?
Personal or personnel?
Personnel or personal, either one. I mean, it was, we checked the records and we were able to do that.
I know you're able to, but I guess my point is, I would I would love it if you would err on the side of being in the open. I understand there are times you can't, for contract issues and personnel issues, but, that's all. That's just my comment.
We have two bids to award now, the park care bid. Somebody, that's, I believe it was,
But I'm sorry, can we just go back to that really quick? So is the intent for us to advertise in the Grafton News and to potentially hold the
yes,
special town meeting on June 25th?
yes.
Okay.
Okay. So the bids. We have the park bid, Igor Stevens, I believe is the bidder.
Yes.
Somebody want to make a motion to accept the bid since it was the only one?
So moved.
In a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the second bid is the cemetery bid, and it was, as I, my recollection is we only had one bid, and that was Igor Stevens. Does someone want to make a motion to accept that bid?
So moved.
Second. Just so you know, we don't have any money to cover that in bid. Because we were hoping that the other person would bid like he did the year before, so we're gonna be lacking some money.
What was the bid the year before?
14,000.
That was 16.
Anyway, he didn't bid, so we only have one bidder, so that's where we are. So somebody make a motion to accept the cemetery bid?
Here, 1 second.
Yeah, you just
Yeah,
have to vote on it.
to accept it. Favor?
Just
Aye.
Again, anybody opposed? Okay, then we accept the two bids, Igor Stevens, it's both bids. Okay, municipal technical assistance program, you wanna talk about that more?
Yeah, so this was something that, it's a program through the Wyndham Regional Commission, and they help facilitate large projects. And so I was brainstorming a few months ago about some large projects that we have that they may be able to help us with, and one of those was the village drainage pipe in the center of town that goes from the ball field to the Saxon River. And so, after meeting with them briefly, they said that there is a potential that the municipal technical assistance program can help fund the feasibility study for this. And so I asked them, they were gonna be here today, but had some scheduling issues, so I asked for some guidance on what they would like for the motion to be. And if everyone's agreeable, they said, it would be to submit a municipal technical assistance program statement of work and to proceed with the potential of funding a feasibility study for the village drainage project. So this would just be to get the project going and submitting what we need to see if they would cover that piece.
Yeah, just so you understand, this probably is a $500,000 project and maybe even more. So if we could get assistance to do this, this would be a great thing. So I think it's worthwhile for us to pursue this endeavor.
And there's no cost.
No cost, right?
So if everybody, if we agree, someone make a motion to get this thing going,
So moved.
do we have a second? Better. Any other discussion? Just so everybody knows, there is a committee that will be meeting to discuss this with the foundation, and I think it's the planning commission, and forget what is the other one?
And my Grafton improvement.
Grafton Improvement Association, so,
Why did you include the landowner?
well, the landowners will be included, I mean,
So you'll send letters
yeah, yeah, absolutely, I mean, we're just talking about the efficiency right now.
And the improvement association because the ball field, right?
Yes,
And that's-
and they're the ones that was put in there for that reason, so. So then, all in favor, say aye. Opposed? Okay. Meeting room equipment, that's you know,
Yeah, so I hope you got my email about some options. I reached out to the tech group, the tech company that we contract with, and they gave me a few different options for how we can improve this meeting area. They gave two different options for just the projector. And so one of them was for $1,060 and the other option was for $2,020. And so I kind of broke it out. We could purchase one of the new projectors and continue using the owl, which that would easily be the least expensive option. They also recommended a whole new video conferencing kit, so that would be getting rid of the owl entirely and the projector. And it's a whole new system that comes with speakers, camera, all of that. And that would be for $3,245. Oh, plus you would have to do also a new projector, so either $1,000 or $2,000 on top of that. Then I was also talking with the Grafton Inn, and they have a DTEN board, which is new. They just got it in the past couple of months. And so essentially that's like a TV screen, and it hosts Microsoft Teams and Zoom. And you don't need a laptop to run that. It's all one unit, and it does have a built-in camera and speakers. That would also work with the owl. It is compatible as far as I know, but a 55-inch screen with the stand to go with it would be $7,000. And then they have a larger 75-inch option, and that's just over $10,500.
Now, what about the equipment we have?
So the issue with the equipment that we have at the town garage, it's wall mounted, so it would have to come off of the wall and project onto a 6-foot by a 4-foot whiteboard. And my concern is that we don't have 6 feet of wall space that doesn't cover a window. Like there is a window just behind. That we're covering.
But is there not 6 feet between each of those windows?
I mean, I didn't measure it exactly, but I'm just concerned about mounting a projector on the wall. And then it's something that I will look into further. I just wanted to lay out all.
Well, I mean, we have the equipment.
Yeah.
And Bill, you can talk about it.
Yeah, there's a frame on wheels that you put it. Period. It's just like, I mean, you take that screen, frame on wheels that has a whiteboard on it, and you wheel it around. Man, it's really clear. But it needs to be tested to see if it has a really clear picture. Because that's the problem with this. When we were looking at the flood maps the other night, you couldn't even see them because it was so unclear. But that Epson is really good for clarity. I think it looks just like it does on your computer. And you just have something you wheel around. You can put it back there in the hallway when you're not using it. And furthermore, it has a whole bunch of features that if you're having a discussion and you want to keep notes from the discussion, you can write them on the screen and save them to your computer. You don't have to have other notes. You can put the notes right there that everybody can see. And those notes can be saved to your computer. I think it should be tested.
Yeah, I think.
You give it, I mean, you're talking about 7, 10, 15, 5, 10,000, you got it. All you need is a frame to hold it, and I don't know what the frame costs. I have no idea what the frame.
Yeah, I think we want to pursue that more than, we don't have any money to buy other stuff. As long as we can get better clarity and get a better system. And if we have it, let's use it.
Yeah, user friendly. It
Yeah.
is. Bill, is that system, that garage user friendly?
I'm sorry.
It's a friendly.
Is it user friendly?
Oh, it really uses them. I mean, I wasn't very good on the computer when I got it, I could use it.
I was able to do the notes. When we had one of the meetings, I could save the notes to the computer. Yeah, it's a really good system.
Is there any,
It's a camera that shoots right up on there. The only thing I don't know is how clear it is. I mean, you need to try it with the meeting we had the other day on maps. It do something like that with it and make sure that it's really clear. Because if it isn't really clear, it's no good.
That's right.
It's no good. That's what's really good about the screen, you know, the big screens like this, they're really clear. I mean, for some purposes, you don't need it, you don't need the detail. But when we're looking at maps the other day, the flood maps the other day, you really need the detail. But I think it should be tested, that it's probably $1,500 to get maybe not even that, to get the frame rolled around on wheels that has the whole thing. And you take the whiteboard off the book, off what you have there, attach it to this and you really want it.
Okay.
does they also have the audio? That's one of
what
the
I was
biggest,
just gonna ask that.
that's the biggest problem with the audio.
It does everything.
But we,
How do you know that?
We're gonna test it.
still
I'm saying, how does it know?
Well, because I was there for, we had that course that we had to take for safety. And that the audio was.
Not if we right off the computer, they're in there.
It's not, this room has terrible acoustics, so if you're moving that down here,
But we'll test it.
that's what I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think we have to test it.
I was just concerned you were saying clarity, but clarity of sound is also.
No, I think we need.
No, I don't think you should accept what's up there without testing.
No,
But I think you have what you need.
Right, yeah. Okay. Morgan, you have the E911 just stage on Bell Road.
there are 3 addresses on Bell Road that I was alerted that were addressed not correctly. So the first one was 264, second one was 398, and the third one was 500. And so I worked with the Vermont E911 board to get new correctly labeled numbers. And so we have letters to send to those property owners, just letting them know that they need to have their property properly labeled by June 1st. It's really just for safety so that rescue can find their house.
There's nothing we have to do, right?
No, I just wanted to let you know. that was-
Any questions on that? Personnel? You wanna talk about Kathy, the long review, I guess?
Yeah, I did, all the reviews of all the highway folks and Colby, the supervisors, both, David and Lane. And I also did Morgan, along with Joe. And, they're all excellent. We should be very happy to have this crew and to have Morgan as our town administrator. She does an excellent job. She's, more than 100%. We'll have another 3-month review for Lane and before the end of June. And also for David, because they're on supervision. David as the assistant foreman. And Lane is on a 6-month review as a new hire. So after those reviews, then they would go into the Lane would get his benefits after the 6-month review because of a new hire. And then with David, again, his reviews from Colby were excellent. And we are assuming that they're gonna be excellent again, and he would go on as full-time, I should say full-time. He would be assistant foreman without any supervision. So, all things are good. Question? Yes.
Thank you, Kathy. First of all, thank you for getting those reviews done.
Yeah, and we'll have another one in another 6 months. We're on top of it.
Just wondered if this review was for Colby's probationary period as the supervisor?
Yeah,
Was there a probationary
yeah,
period?
his would, end in the next 3 months, so,
So there's 3 more months for that?
yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Not, the wastewater committee loan agreement, you got that?
Yes. So I hope you had a chance to look at this. As a small committee, we've been working to get reimbursement for the $34,300 that Pine and Bond requested. Additionally, and so we have a loan agreement through the Vermont Bond Bank. And it's confusing because, as we all know, a loan has to be repaid. But it specifies in here that there is loan forgiveness, and 100% of it does not have to be repaid by the town. And I'm sure I need to explain more, but Suzanne's been reading it closely. Do I have anything that I can say?
Actually, I think you've done a super job on understanding this, Morgan.
Okay. I did ask how long it would take once we sign all of this, and they couldn't give a clear explanation. But they said that they'll send it off to the DEC, and then they will have to follow up with us on the process moving forward. Our town attorney did review it, and he got back to me this afternoon and said that the documents are in good form.
So who has to sign it, all select board?
So there's a few different spots. Joe, you have to sign just on the yellow, and then both of the blue, the whole board has to sign. And then Kim also will have to, as the town clerk. Sorry, in addition to that, there is a funds transfer agreement, and so that goes along with that. It's a DocuSign, and somebody needs to have authority to sign that to get the funds transferred to our account.
Is that the treasurer that should do that?
It could be either Kim, myself, or I think Joe, yourself as the chair.
Wouldn't that be the treasurer to do that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
She has 2 places to sign in
Yes,
Yeah, but she has to sign the DocuSign thing. If that comes about.
it does have a lot of details about our account and, funds, so it would make sense, I think, to have the town treasurer do it.
Are you willing to do that, Kim?
Yeah.
I mean, you're here all the time anyway, and this way you can get it done.
Yeah.
And you are the treasurer, so I think it's appropriate.
Yeah, that one, and then,
We're still waiting for, our friends at the state and, Pine Bond to decide when we're gonna have some more wastewater meetings, but so far, nothing. So it's kind of still staying there dormant, so.
Yes.
Nothing we can.
I just think there should be one more thing we highlight about the bond bank transaction and state involved. I think we still have some questions to be asked about the invoice actually getting paid and how the reimbursement process takes place. Because essentially the bond bank stands between the state revolving fund, DC, and the town, right, Morgan?
yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, and so, we have already paid this bill in full, right?
Yeah.
So now we have to submit for the reimbursement. And I think as this process evolves, we'll have more information about how that works. Is that fair to say, Morgan?
Yeah, that's great, thank you.
The next order of business, oh,
Can somebody just make the motion to authorize Kim to sign that document?
someone want that motion? Brandon?
So,
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor of having Kim sign, say aye.
I,
Opposed?
Thank you.
All right, well, let's go around. We have the July flood update, and we have the open to bids for the cold. Bill, do you want to give an update first?
Not anything more to say.
Huh?
Don't have anything more to say. We're still having to work fighting with FEMA to get it done. We did submit an object last week after spending 5 hours of wasted time with the FEMA representative, and but we did get 733722, which included Eastman, filed with them hopefully, and maybe they will toss out of it to pay us. With the good news is that 260 or more, 300,000, something like that of our money is going to come from the Fed aid highways, because we have 35 and 121 are federal aid highways, and Morgan has been processing those and has got them all in, and so hopefully we'll get $250,000 back from the federal aid highways, which has always been a very quick thing for us. No one in the state is getting paid. I have about 700,000 in Londonderry that I'm trying to get approved. Hopefully I can get it approved this Thursday, but I'm not hopeful that FEMA's gonna accept it. They have fired everybody that was up there. They're all going home, and except for a few people, and I don't know what to do. My next thing is one of you who knows Bernie Sanders, ask him if he has any authority in the federal government with FEMA, and ask him to take some action against FEMA and get things going. I mean, we're 9 months into this thing and I can't get anything filed. We should have had it filed. We should be done. We should have been done with this in October, November.
Why don't we send a letter to Bernie Sanders and
Don't send a letter, call him.
well, do both, but
And if you want me, I will do it,
Rebecca
but
Blunt.
I don't, who am I? I'm just some guy.
No, but
You guys, no,
we
the
can do-
select board should send a letter to Bernie Sanders to balance to the governor and say,
Right.
do something.
Exactly.
And that's all you have to say, do something, because they're not doing anything.
Exactly.
And everybody's frustrated. No one is getting anything. Ludlow had $2 or $3 million. They're not getting anything. No one's getting it. So do I have an update? No, I have no update,
Okay, we'll get a letter out.
but we're working on it. However, I have this to say too. Part of the thing is, it's a game. Part of the thing is, you have John and I, when we rode around the town, we said, okay, you have 800 feet, 2x3 of erosion on the side of the road. What we have to do is take that number. No, don't take that. Using that number and the number of the amount of material that was used to fix that. And we have to match the amount of numbers that we fix that road with the actual number of the damage. There are people in this room who have that knowledge that could help her do it every day. And we could get at least get more of that process going. And that's the only thing I have to say. I am committed to Londonderry and to here. I have to split my time between them. If somebody would take the ball here and work with Morgan, she knows what has to be done. They are asking for specific descriptions of damage and repair, and she could help them do it. If somebody would help them do that, that would be a great thing.
I sat down and talked with John this morning, and so we are on good understanding. He's gonna help me with measuring, so I think we have that. Okay. I just, yeah. Go ahead.
My question is, when they fire everybody, it's there now and bring in new people, are we still gonna do it the same way?
So again,
That's a
But
very.
if fire all the people from FEMA and new people come in, are they gonna do the projects the same way, as you've been doing them?
the people I talked to about at the state, Kim Kanareki, Ben Rose, and Jim Tomkovich are hopeful that the FEMA people that are coming in will be more willing to work. You know, we had in Irene, John, if you remember, we had people that, we had a guy that was here for 3 months. If you remember that guy, and he never did anything. And that's what's going on now. And so, they are hopeful that it is, but that's why I think everybody's you've got to write to Phil Scott, you've got to write to Bernie. You people who know, got to write to Bernie and got to write to Senator DeLint and say, this is not happening. Why? We should be done with this.
But Kim says at the state that he should be on a fast track,
We are on a fast track.
but it isn't on a fast track, and you have to figure out all the damage spots on the road.
Well, they've gotten rid of us telling them how to build a road as if I was explaining to a 5-year-old. At least they got rid of that.
Well, I just don't want to spend a lot of time in Morgan, and these new people come in, and now we're gonna do it different.
Then you would share my frustration, John.
Well, I
Okay,
don't want,
but
I don't want, I won't share it if I don't share it.
what they're saying right now is they need is the force accounts, which Morgan has all done, correct?
I have mostly.
You and John have done most of that. In addition to that, they need a certificate that she can sign that says, we did all this. And she has all the documentation that we don't have to produce, that we have to hang on to for 3 years. And this description of the damage and repairs. And the description of the damage and repairs is very specific. And if we could get that all done, believe me, I spent 4 hours doing 1 paragraph today over in London. I mean, I know it's very stupid, but if we can get that done, then we might be able to get some money. That's all I can say. I don't know what else to say. We don't have a Katie Sullivan who took what you and Amber and the rest and Michelle Dolph put together, took it up to her office, worked on it, massaged it, came back with a few questions, massaged it again, and filed it. We don't have that. So that's where we're stuck. Well, I just really don't know what more to say to you other than that. And the scary thing is, John, unlike in the past, I don't have the confidence to tell the town, go ahead and do Belco. Go ahead and do the blocks on Eastman, because I don't know what Pete is doing anymore. That is scary.
Suzanne?
I have a couple questions. So Bill, I totally agree with you about trying to do some lobbying here. With federal government, I mean, being a federal agency, we need to lobby the federal government about this. I do wonder 2 things. Number one, who did you say is no longer available? It sounds like we had a single point of contact with FEMA who was really good and helped us a lot, and she's no longer there. What was her name again?
Katie Sullivan.
Katie.
That was 3 years ago. She
Okay.
probably said, I'm out of here.
Okay, but my question is, who is our contact? Does
Mike
Morgan?
Mike Barron's.
And Morgan knows who that is,
Yeah.
so it sounds like he may not have been as effective, but at least you have somebody you can talk to.
Yes, but what he's asking for, he's not, and I don't feel right talking about it, because I wasn't here when Katie was, but the things that Mike is asking for, I don't think is the same as what Katie was doing.
That's not putting it on a fast track like the state wants to do. And the state talked with FEMA, and FEMA was gonna hold a class and tell them how to do it on a fast track, and I don't know if that ever happened or not.
I haven't heard back from that, John. And that was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
That should have been in October, because I have to say this about Mike Barron's. He says, there is a fast track. And he was telling me that the state didn't want to do it. I don't know if that's true or not, but anyway, they're now on the fast track. The problem is, what does that look like? And the documentation that has to be submitted changes. I mean, the other day, okay, for instance, you take Eastman Road, they want to pull out every culvert on Eastman Road as a separate project. Eastman may not be a good example, but let's say Hinkley Brook, because Hinkley Brook, we replaced an 18-inch culvert. That when you go along, it's like putting railroad ties below rails. When you go along, you stick in the culvert and you just keep on going. They want that to be a separate project. Well, then he told us the other day that maybe FEMA's gonna change their mind on doing it. But all your paperwork, your force account, all the stuff you spent time forever is based on the fact that you're looking at the roads and you're looking at the culvert. Now, we got to change all that stuff. That it isn't just one. If you have a piece of the project work number with 13 projects, and they all have a force account, you gotta change the force account in every one of those projects to make, I mean, it just goes on and on. And so, I asked him to get his supervisor in the room. Because I wanted to tell the supervisor this is BS, and anyway, but the supervisor was going home in 2 days, so that wouldn't be good. So that's where we are. What happens is somebody in this state, like the governor, or like Bernie, or like Mrs. Berlin, has to tell FEMA, we want services for the state of Vermont that are reasonable. And that hasn't, and I'm about to call Bernie's office, but that probably won't be very helpful. You guys know Bernie, call him.
I just have a second part to my question. So I'm wondering about the involvement, because VLCT is essentially a lobbying organization. And I'm wondering about the involvement of VLCT in this issue for this reason. Grafton is not the only town in the state of Vermont that is not receiving its FEMA reimbursements. And we've been paying for repairs all along. As a result, we are in a cash crisis as a town. We're probably not the only town that's in a cash crisis because we haven't received our FEMA reimbursement. When that happens, we have to borrow money. And somebody's getting paid interest on the money we borrow. If this is happening all over the state, this is a reason for politicians to take action. The community should not have to borrow money because we're not getting our reimbursements from FEMA. And it seems to me that that would be a real lightning rod at VLCT. And maybe in addition to doing what Bill is suggesting, writing to our federal representatives directly, maybe we could lock into some initiative that's going on with VLCT about this.
I agree, Bill.
It's not it. Others are not receiving anything.
They're not.
6% of the projects in the whole state have been approved at this point in time, 9 months into it. Everybody I talked to, and I haven't talked to 250 municipalities, but I've talked to Ludlow. I know what's happening in Londonderry, and I know what's happening in some other towns, Jamaica, Weston. They don't have any money. They haven't got anything. Ludlow has gotten zero. Ludlow, that got this vote, has gotten zero. And he tells me he's had 4 people representing FEMA, like our Mike Berenson, 4 people. All of them told him different things. And every time they submit something, they have something else to submit. Somebody had said to me, you know what's happening, Bill, FEMA doesn't want to pay out any money because they don't have any money. I'm starting to believe it. But VLCT is great. But I think the governor has more authority. I think Bernie and Senator DeLint have more authority. Somebody has to get to them and tell them that what is going on.
I think we have to send a letter to Scott, Sanders, Blunt, I think we ought to send it to VLCT, and I think we should find out who the head of FEMA is and send them a letter as well. And from the board explaining exactly what Suzanne had really reiterated, that we're borrowing money. It's 2+ years and there's no resolution in sight.
May I ask that the letter be sent tomorrow?
Well, we'll try to get it out. I don't know if we'll get it tomorrow, but we'll get it out soon.
It's gotta go soon.
No, we'll get it out soon.
I would recommend you send it to Becca Ballot locally, because Montpelier doesn't even have a post office.
No,
So
no,
it's just so absurd what's happening at the federal
Well,
government.
they have email addresses and
I'm
whatever.
being facetious, but
Yeah,
there's no functioning post office in Montpelier.
no, we're not gonna send it.
Problems are everywhere right now.
We'll find the correct addresses and get it.
Rodney just said a good thing, whatever you send to them, put it in every newspaper in town. Ask the editor to publish it, every newspaper, because every town in this, every municipality, I should say, because that's a general term, in this state is in the same boat. That no one has gotten in. Burlington has gotten no money, which just kind of floors me because Burlington gets everything they ask for, but they have.
We will. Steve, we need to open the bids. For the bill total.
This is Wesley Hamden Construction, $240,000.
$240,000.
Yeah, even.
Do they have their insurance card, insurance, anything in there?
Yeah, character, yeah.
Bill,
I didn't hear the name.
Hamden.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is Hunter Excavation. Total of $268,300. When he does have his insurance here,
He has insurance?
yes.
where's he out of?
Hunter.
And where is Amadon?
I don't know where I'm.
Hamden is London area.
London.
Jamie Gregory. Total of $208,000.
Even?
208 even. Well, yeah, total.
Insurance certificate too?
Insurance is there.
All right, as the board's policy is, we'll have the appropriate people review the bids, and we'll award the bids at the next meeting. Is there any other business?
I have one.
Go ahead.
The local hazard mitigation, plan. Bill, can you confirm, is this updated every 8 years?
It's updated every 8 years
Okay, and it's expiring this year in November.
in November.
And so, we've been working with the state to guide us for this, and we have to, advertise a request for proposals for a qualified consultant to help us update the plan. Is that right?
That's correct.
This is done every year, I mean, this is nothing new.
It's on every, no, this is the hazard mitigation plan, it's done every 8 years,
Right, but we have a consultant, you have to do the consultant every time we do. it.
every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I want to say this. A year and a half ago, in November, I tried to get BEM to do these grants for us to update the hazard mitigation plan so that it would not lapse. Right now, unless the person working on it is very efficient, hopefully it might be the person who works on the last plan, because our new plan should not be that much different from what she did before. We have to add the summer storm and this last thing. Other than that, it shouldn't take very long to do. However, if it isn't approved in November, we run the risk of being without a hazard mitigation plan, which affects our ERAP, which is the percentage that we get during a presidential declared disaster. But I want to make it clear, it wasn't for the lack of trying with BEM to get it done on time. It was BEM telling us that that we could not do it last year, that we had to wait till the funding this year. And so this year we are, 6 months from it lapsing, and it's about an 18-month process. So let's just,
Then we have to get going with it.
yeah, need to get going as soon as possible.
She want a motion?
Yeah, a motion to advertise for the consultant.
Somebody want to make that motion? Second? Second?
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Okay. All right, public comment, any public comment? Go ahead, Don.
I'm wondering if any thought has been given to the suggestion that came up in the last meeting about amending the sewage
Yes,
orders.
it's being worked on as we speak.
Everything's being worked on. Is anything being done?
Don, let's be fair here, this FEMA thing is taking a tremendous toll. And we have one person here doing this thing, so, we're doing our best we can. But it's
You
certainly,
keep saying we, but
The
in
board.
fact, it's Morgan.
well, it's the board, and, it's. Morgan has to come up with some ideas, we have to give her ideas, and then we have to look at it. And then we, present it, so it's an ordinance, it has to be advertised, it's something. But I want to assure you that it's not sitting in the filing cabinet. Morgan, have I talked to you about how many times have we talked about it in the last week or so? Okay, so. Believe me, Don, it's happening, I mean, we're trying our best. Any other public comment?
Okay.
If not, the next regular meeting will be Monday, April 15, 2024, 6 P.M. here. Okay, a motion to adjourn? Oh, somebody. All in favor, say aye.
Yeah.
Do what?